Okay, I believe we're all in here. Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome to the FastWeigh in 20 Minutes webinar. My name is Hank DePriest. I'm a product specialist here with TAC Insight. BJ Lusk is joining us here shortly. He is our senior product specialist. He's going to be navigating through the basics of our software and showing you what it'd look like to be a customer. Very excited. I know this is a busy time of the year, so this is great that everybody was able to join. There should be a Q&A button at the top, so if you have questions at any time, then please click that button. We'll make sure that we address every question that's asked today. I really wanted to give a brief overview of who we are and what we do in case you're just getting familiar. So what is FastWeigh? FastWeigh is the leading cloud bulk material point of sale and management platform in the North America. It is designed to bring all of your operations together in one place and streamline every application and aspect of that with real-time data. We're not going to get into every feature and automation that we provide today. We're going to really focus on ticketing, but keep in mind that this software is a full quote-to-cash system to be used. We have full-scale AR built into it to be able to take payments at the scale houses. Your customers can have their own secure portals to be able to log in and see their tickets in real time, be able to pay invoices in real time on that same portal. You see the driver kiosk and mobile ticketing. There's a lot of different ways to cut tickets with us and keep the driver in the cab. We're going to be focusing on the Scale app that was developed in 2023 today. It's very masterful in remote ticketing, being able to provide tickets to multiple locations at the same time. It's really two aspects that I want to cover before I hand it off to BJ. There's the customer portal that we're going to be taking a look at first. It's where all of the data, the orders, the quotes, your inventory, invoices, everything lives in the portal. It's immediately accessible with network connectivity. You just got to log in and get going. It's in constant communication with the Scale application that we're going to be cutting tickets from. We're very agnostic, so you don't have to use a certain type of scale with us. As I said, it's in constant communication. So as these tickets are being created, you can immediately access them, whether you are an operator, maybe you're a hauler that needs an e-ticket. We're going to try to get into the mobile app today as well. That way we can show you these e-tickets, maybe what it would be like to be an operator looking at a location when you're going down the road, or maybe you're a hauler needing proof of delivery. So without further ado, let's kick it over to BJ and actually go through the software. Thank you.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Hank. Let me get my screen pulled up here. It's been a while since I've done a webinar, so I'm a little bit rusty with with all of this fancy technology that we have here. But, kind of echoing Hank, appreciate everybody joining us, taking time out of your day. We've got about 20 minutes or so to cover this software. Usually we typically budget about an hour and a half to 2 hours. So that's a big difference in time. I'm going to cover as much as I can, keep it high level for sure. But there's going to be plenty of things we don't get to cover today. Ask those questions. We'll get to those at the very end. And then if you want to talk more, we can schedule a time to talk more. And I'm going to turn off my camera right now because I'll be doing a lot of looking back and forth and I don't want to distract anybody. So we'll do that. But before we get started, I'd like to kind of talk about the two different pieces, and Hank mentioned those just a second ago, but one being the web portal, which you see on the screen right here. This is where everything starts, right? All the admin processes, the office processes. You can see all the different things that you could do across the top here. Don't have to, but all the things that are available to do within the system. So unlimited user access, whoever needs to be in here using the web portal and doing these functions can. The other piece to this would be the ticketing application. Now, this is that program that sits locally on that machine there at the scale house, creating those tickets and things like that. Hank mentioned that we're talking constantly back and forth to the web portal with the Scale app. As soon as a ticket's created, pushing that back up in real time to the web portal. As soon as we put new information in the web portal, that's coming down automatically down in without anybody having to do anything into the ticketing application. So we've got that constant talk back and forth. But if we lose connection to the internet, that's okay. We're still going to be able to create these tickets and store those locally on that PC or whatever it may be there at the Scale site. And then as soon as we regain that connection, we will push everything back up like we need to. So, but we'll come back to this here in just a second. Probably we'll spend the bulk of the time talking about this because, like Hank said, this is something that's still pretty new to us, and it's a pretty cool thing that our developers have built. So back over here on the portal, the first page you see, this is the dashboard. This gives you a good overview of everything that's going on at all your facilities. If it's 1 or 15 or 20 or whatever it is, you can kind of manage them all within the web portal here. And I always like to point out to people, they talk about, well, can I run a report and see this and run a report and see that? And I always say, yeah, you sure can. But there's a lot of information that can be gleaned from this dashboard right here. How many loads have we sent out today? Well, 43. What jobs have we sent material to? Well, here's all the jobs you sent material to. And not only can you see this information here, but here in the end, I'll show you the mobile application that we can give to somebody to put on their phone or tablet where they can see this basic information while they're out in the field or something like that, and even possibly use that for what we call proof of delivery to kind of mark those loads as delivered at the job site and things like that. So, but diving a little bit deeper into the web portal and the different functionalities, once we get our customers and products and develop the pricing structure with our pricing templates and things like that, then we're going to be able to set up either a quote or an order. Now, the order is the engine that drives everything. It is the basis of everything that we do within FastWeigh. Yeah, we've got customers and products and pricing, but that order is really what starts everything. Now, we call it an order. If you want to call it a job or a project or whatever it is, that's fine. But the order is the big project, right? Like 10,000 ton Amazon warehouse job or something like that. That is the order for us. You can just go directly and create an order if you want to. We also offer, quotes. If you want to create a quote within our system, you can do that. And you can, I'll just open this up real quick, and you can send those out directly to your customers via email. They can go in there and they can view it. Maybe if they want to accept it from that email, they can do that as well. They don't have to, but they can. And then once that quote has been accepted or something, then we can come in here and hit this award button, and that turns that quote into an order. Now, one of the things I like to mention about this, and having worked in a scale house, I know how this works and how this happens sometimes. We don't like it, but it happens that people will quote something, we never hear back from the customer, and then they show up ready to get material. And you're scrambling, trying to figure out what to do, who they're there for, and things like that. So, at that point, when we have that quote created, it's as simple as hitting this button right here, whoever it needs to be that hits this button, and we can turn that quote into an order. And now at the scale house, they're ready to create those tickets. So that's something that's pretty neat that we have built in here. Again, quoting is one of those optional things. I always just like to show it because it is a useful tool that we can have for those salespeople. Now, if you don't want to use a quote and just go straight to the order field, that's fine. Create an order. I'm not going to dive deep into the order setup, just to let you know that orders can, one of our guys, Eric, he always says orders are cheap, right? You can set up as many as you want to, and you can have different kinds of orders. You can have a standing order for somebody. Basically, when they come in on account and just get material, we'll just set up an order for that. If it's specific projects like this Substation 19 and Substation 12, set up different ones. So we're tracking tonnages separately, maybe doing different invoices and stuff like that for the different PO numbers and different things like that. So the order is what drives everything that we do. Okay. So once we have all of this information set up, then we're going to come over here and we're going to be able to create these tickets. Now I'm going to try to slow down a little bit and spend a little bit more time here because this is, like we said, this is something that's new to us, or this application is new, and we're really proud of it. So creating a ticket in here, and I'm going to go through creating several tickets. One I'll go through pretty quick, and then I'll slow down and explain what I'm doing. But when we're creating these tickets, trucks come in, we identify the truck, whoever it is. They tell us who they're there for. Hopefully they tell us who they're there for and they know what they're doing. If they give us a project number, if they give us a PO number, if they give us whatever, a customer name, we can start typing in whatever they tell us right there. And we're going to filter down based off of whatever they're telling us. And the same is true for a product. If they tell you the product, you're not familiar with the product code, go down there and search for it that way. Tab on down, accept that weight from the scale. You want to take a picture of the truck on the scale, that's fine. That looks like the beach somewhere, which would be a nice place to be right now. But then after that, we come down here and create the ticket. And now we've got that ticket created. Now notice I didn't print a ticket. We will print a ticket if you want to, but that ticket was created. Boom, now it's automatically available in the web portal for anybody to see, or on mobile apps if they want to look at them that way. Okay, Some of the other things that we can do with this, let's say that trucks come in and you want to check those trucks in, right? So truck comes in again. Let's just say it's this one this time. And he tells me what he's going to be doing. So we'll just come down here and say, he tells me he's here for that same job. And he's getting this material right here. And he's checking in. So now all we have to do is hit this check-in button. Now, some things that can happen with that would be here. We can see trucks that are in the yard, right? So we track them and see when they got checked into the yard. We can see that, I guess I was playing around with this last night too, but you can see trucks checked in the yard. You can see what time they checked in the yard. And this, for nothing else, this can give you a watchful eye on these trucks. Hey, he checked in at 111. My goodness, it's 145 and he's still not made it down. Let me see where he's at, or things like that. So that's one thing that we can do. The other thing would be if you wanted to give a tablet to your loader operator and they can see who's checked in. So I can see that this guy checked in, the time he checked in, the product he's there for, a target weight right there. If you want to set a target, maybe their max capacity, or if they specify, hey, I only need a half a load, you can put that target in there. And so after the loader operator loads them, then they can, mark them as loaded there. And then when we come back to the ticketing, that'll update here in just a second. Let me see if I can't force it. There we go. So that truck is loaded. So they come back down on the scale, pull them in right there, grab the weight, and create the ticket. Okay. Another thing that we can do really well now with this new ticketing application would be, and Hank mentioned it also, is remote ticketing. So with the remote ticketing, I'm set up for Bristol and Knoxville right now. So if you've got somebody in a command center, or whatever you want to call it, I don't know, they're sitting there and they're responsible for ticketing for two different locations, Knoxville and Bristol. So we're going to be able to set that up to where they can ticket for both. Now, if I want to just kind of toggle back and forth here between the two locations, I can do that. If I wanted to pop this out into another tab over here, I can do that as well. Throw it on another monitor or whatever it may be. Now I'm ticketing for both locations, and we're connecting to the peripherals, the scales, the printers, and the whatever at that local location. Now, I won't dive into that too deep, but here in the server settings, you'll be able to set all that up for the specific locations. One other thing that I want to point out, actually two more things that I want to point out real quick is one, you a lot of times you get the trucks that are coming in over and over doing the same thing. We do have the repeat last button right there that allows you just to type a truck in and pull up the last ticket that they did. But also, too, you've got this history list over here. So this is important because, one, if they're doing the same thing over and over and I just quickly want to grab them right there, I can. But if somebody comes in and says, well, hey, I was in here yesterday, I'm doing the same thing that I was doing yesterday. And if you're like me, you have a short memory, you don't remember, you can always come right here to yesterday, find that truck and what they did yesterday, and then pull that information in right there. So a way to kind of go back in time and look and see what somebody did. Okay. All right. Now, one more thing I want to mention here. We talked about the credit card processing and being able to do that pretty quickly here at the scale site. So I'm going to do that real quick and go through creating this. That's not the one I wanted to do. So we'll do this. So this truck comes in, he tells me, hey, he's a cash customer, credit card customer, whatever. He's here getting this product and he's got a credit card on hand. He's going to pay for it right there. So now we have this create and pay button right here. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. That's going to kick me out to this section right here. And I can say, how are you paying? Well, I'm paying with a cash, check, credit card. Maybe we've got a terminal that we can connect to this. We can light up that terminal where they can swipe their card or tap, or, Google Pay, Apple Pay, whatever it is. So we'll just choose credit card to show you this functionality. And now we'll hit create payment. Now you could manually enter a credit card here, or in some cases, maybe you store a credit card or whatever it may be. So I'll just use a stored credit card just to show you. And now we're processing that payment, download a receipt if we need to. I'm going to show that right there. We're done, and we'll cancel out of that. And now we're back to ticketing. So I did that pretty slow, but I think you can see how fast that process could be with creating those cash loads and things like that. Now, there's some things we can do, and I'm not going to dive into it. If it's a situation where you let somebody run all day on a credit card or a check or something like that, there's some things we can do to, at the end of the day, total up all those and then process that, 4 or 5 tickets or whatever it is. But That is there's a lot more, again, this could do, but that is kind of the quick and dirty of the new ticketing application here. Okay. All right. So hopping back over to the web portal here, kind of go through some things. So, we always talk about getting this information back up into the web portal in real time. And one of the best places to find this information is here in this ticket query. And this is something you could use, something your customers, if they have login access, they could use. Hauling companies, DOT, whoever it is, you want to give access, specific access to what you want them to see. They're going to be able to come in here and get their tickets. And you can see all the tickets we've ran for today. The ticket information across here, kind of slide on over here. You can see here's a copy of the actual tickets themselves. I'm not going to worry about showing you a ticket. It's a pretty standard ticket. We can work with you on that. Pictures, if we take pictures of the trucks when they're on the scale, we can store those with the ticket record here. And the good thing to note about this is we store this information here in the portal forever. We're never going to get rid of this information, even if the ticket's voided for whatever reason. We're going to maintain a copy of it. And it always surprised me when I worked with the aggregate company, the DOT, how they would 2 years later come back to you trying to close out a job and they've lost a ticket, and you got to thumb through files and stuff like that and find the ticket. Not anymore. You've got the tickets here. You can find them from 3, 4, 5 years ago if you need to. Okay, so all of that has happened, and now we're ready to, end of the day, end of the week, or whatever it is. We want to get these. We want to get paid, right? We're going to create these invoices and get these checks rolling in. So coming over here to the billing tab, we're going to pull in all the tickets that we've created, and you can see all the different ways that you can bill. If you wanted to sort it by specific customer and just bill one customer at a time, I don't know why, but you can do that if you want to, or by location or whatever. So I've got all these tickets in here now, and I've got them grouped and sorted by project and by product, just so I can keep like things together. So this is a point for me to review these tickets and make sure everything is correct. There are reports that you can run, a pre-billing pricing verification report that'll kind of lay all of this out for you in report style that somebody can review and maybe mark up and say, hey, you need to change this, change that. So when these changes need to be made, so we'll just pretend like this particular job right here for this 57 stone, somebody entered $21 as the price, but that's not correct. So we're going to come right here and fix that price to whatever it needs to be. Hit updates, and now that will fix all of the prices for those tickets for that product on that job. So we've done that. So now that we've reviewed everything, we're happy. We're going to batch these up, give it a batch ID, and that can be whatever you want it to be. I'll hit assign, and now I've created invoices here. So at this point, depending on what your ERP is, we can use FastWeigh invoices, email them out if you want to right there. If you're wanting to do your receivables there in your ERP, hit that export button. There's different ways to get that information, whether it be a file transfer or via API or whatever it is. Get that information over to your ERP. With that credit card processing that we talked about at the scale side, that does open up the ability for you to have AR, full-blown AR, where you're receiving payments online. So giving a customer access to log on and make their payments online if you want to. So that does come into play when we talk about the AR and things like that. So that's an option for you as well. Okay. A couple more things I want to talk about. I did want to have time to get to the if I can get it pulled up here. Give me 1 second. It's up on another screen. There we go. So this would be the mobile app that that we can have for our customers to have, right? And this is something that can be on their phone or tablet. So you can see it kind of gives them just some information, dashboard information of what's going on for the date range they've selected. Looking at tickets right here by product. If you want to sort it by customer, you can do that right there. Obviously, if it's a customer looking at it, they're just going to see themselves. And if you needed to drill down even further into this, you can look at the different tickets, and then maybe you want to go one step further and look at that specific ticket here, you can. And then you can see that information right there on that ticket. Now, that's one thing we can use this app for. The other thing that we could use this app for would be proof of delivery. I think I mentioned it before. I've had a couple of demos today, and everything's kind of running together. But with the proof of delivery, POD, it could be that a driver or maybe somebody on the job site receiving loads, they can have this application. And as trucks come in, and this is a bad view right here because I'm logged in as an admin, but as trucks come in, they're going to be able to see the truck, look at the tablet or the application, and say, okay, here's this load coming in right here. Let me mark that as delivered. I'm going to sign off on it right there, maybe take a picture of the truck, and then I'm going to hit this save button, and that marks that load as delivered. Okay, so now we've got a record of that. We've got a record of it in the web portal, but also too, looking right here, you could see for this particular ticket, you could see it was delivered, or it was ticketed at 112 and it was delivered at 121. So we've got that information all right here. I'll kind of go back to the web portal and just show you in the delivery query here where we can have proof that these loads were delivered. So just kind of looking at this right here, you can see all these loads were delivered at this time by this person. Here's the location where they were when they say they delivered the material and different things like that. Okay. Another thing, and I mentioned it before, talking about reports and people wanting to know if they can run reports and stuff, and certainly can. And coming over here and looking at the reports, I've already got one run, just to give you an idea of what the reports look like when we run them. And another good thing about these reports is over here on the right side, when you're running these reports, we do give you some flexibility as to how this report spits out. Now, the usage report, it is what it is, but maybe you say, hey, I want to look at it by customer this time to kind of see which customers have used which things. That's always lovely right there, right? You have these ideas and plans that everything's just going to work perfectly, and then sometimes stuff happens. So let's do this real quick. So one more time, and I think you get the idea of report. I don't know that it's really necessary for me to run this, but I just wanted to show you some of these things real quick in the few minutes that we have left. So there, yeah. So that's the same report, just kind of scoped a different way there. So coming back over here to the portal, and don't forget, ask questions whenever you want to. We'll address those here in just a minute when I finish up, about 2 more minutes or something like that. So the system is a great system, and again, all the different things that you can do here that we didn't talk about today when we talk about inventory and tracking the inventory, dispatching trucks. We've got an in-cab app that the drivers can have to be able to, that we can track the trucks and they can mark their loads as picked up and delivered, all the way down to hauler pay, when we can produce payable statements for our hauling companies and things like that. When we come to reports, we do offer scheduled reports. So if you want to run a report every day at midnight, but you don't want to have to worry about, or not necessarily midnight, but you want to run a report every day and you don't want to have to do what I just did, set that report up to be scheduled, and it runs whatever interval you want it to run on. And then the last thing that's always pretty to show people in the minute or two we have left is analytics. So if reports are great, but if you really like to slice and dice the information in different ways, and you like the charts and the graphs, we do have this analytics tool here that we can use. Lots of different views, lots of different things to look at that we won't look at today, but I think you get the idea of some of the tools that you could use within this analytics tool. Okay, we've got about 5 minutes left. I wanted to kind of stop here because I know we'll end this thing, and I want to be respectful of people's time, and wanted to end this thing at 1:30, but I definitely wanted to pause and see if there's any questions that anybody had. There's a lot of things that we didn't talk about, but if you have any questions, maybe want to quickly see something else in the last couple minutes, go ahead and ask those questions right now if you want to. I'll keep an eye on it right here on my other screen.
There should be, we're hoping, there should be a button at the top if you do have any to type those out.
Oh, here we go. Can the screens be set up for different types of users? Yeah, they can. So, and this is something that's going to be not necessarily in the next couple of weeks, but something soon that's going to be changing with the way we do things. But yeah, we have these user accounts here that you can see. We'll just so you can see the different admin, data entry, customer, the different roles there. Let me do something real quick and So right here, you can see the different roles. You can see the admin, data manager, entry, operations, and you can even put further restrictions on people from there. Hey, high pricing, tickets read only, whatever it is, you can put even more restrictions on people. Some of the things that we're going to be doing in the future, and hopefully development won't hit me too hard when I say this because don't know when it's going to happen. But one of the things we want to do is make this more granular where you can set up kind of like a pricing template, right? You can set up a user role and you can define, rather than using our predefined user roles, you can set up the user roles and define them how you want to. So that's coming soon.
What other questions do we have?
Another thing to mention, since we've got just a couple more minutes, and I don't have anything to show you, but if you're going to come to Ag 1, I'll tease this just a little bit. We'll be putting announcements out here soon. But if you're going to come to Ag 1 in Nashville, be ready to see some new things from us. One of those things is going to be silo loadout. When we talk about, overhead loadout with asphalt or cement or whatever it is, we're going to have some tools built in where we can control those silos and open and close the gates and stuff like that and integrate that with our system. So that is something that's going to be coming here pretty soon, and we're very, very close to getting that out the door and hopefully ready to show at Ag 1 coming up at the end of the month or end of March.
Another thing we should be working on is we're working on an integration with Loaderite scales, which is loader scales. So if anybody is familiar with those, we have quite a few customers. That was a high demand that we are able to integrate and cut tickets and connect with those scales. So that should be on its way as well. Did we have another question?
I think we do. Can the printed quote order be developed specific to our company's needs with the same? Yes, that's right. We'll be able to customize any report that you see. I say report, any ticket format, invoice or quote or whatever it is. We can customize that to look how you want to. And then, do you have to set up orders to ticket from different yards or locations, ticketing remote with the new? Let me read this one again. Do you have to set up your orders to ticket from different yard locations when ticketing? So when you set up an order, I'll just show this real quick. Be easier for me to show you. When you set up the order, and this is the one I've reused millions of times, so it's kind of ugly. But when you set up an order, you're going to determine or define where the products are coming from. This order says I can ship from Knoxville and Bristol. So you set it up here. The Knoxville location only sees Knoxville products, and the Bristol location only sees Bristol products. Yes, the trucks, if you've set it up right, the trucks can pull up a ticket on their phone in case the DOT stops them. They do have that. I showed you, I think, when I was showing the mobile app, how I could see that ticket. The trucks could have that same ability there. Okay, I think I'm going back the wrong way here in the tickets, or not the tickets, the questions.
Are you able to work with third-party systems?
Yeah, we can. So that kind of goes back to those APIs and things like that. So really we've got those tools and we can work with any third-party system that's willing to work with us. So we have no issues there.
A few more, BJ. Can the printed quote / order be developed specific to your company's needs, same as the delivery ticket?
Yeah, that's right. That's kind of like what we were saying about the different tickets and quotes and whatever it is. We can work with you to define those and design those how you want. And then can you have separate ticket formats for, say, aggregates versus hot mix asphalt? Yes, I'll just kind of leave it at that. Yeah, you can.
Okay. Well, I think we are pushing close to the end of our time. I appreciate everybody joining us. Like I said, this means a lot, especially with this time of the year. I know everybody is very busy gearing up for the summer. don't hesitate to reach out. So our website, we have a demo of, buttons that I don't even know how to call that. I guess it would be a form that you can fill out that we can reach back out to you and do one-on-one demos. Please don't hesitate to do that. As BJ said, if anybody's going to Ag One, please reach out. We would love to see you show off some of our new hardware and features. And as I said, don't hesitate to reach out. This means a lot. I appreciate everybody. BJ, you did an amazing job. You know the software in the industry like the back of your hand. So good job as always, sir.
Yeah, thank you.
Absolutely. Appreciate everybody. Y'all have a safe week.
Thank you.